Hey guys, thank you so much for joining me for today's complete Pilates plus strength training lower body glute focused workout. Today we're going to be targeting our glutes from all different angles using weight for extra resistance, challenge, and muscle building. So today I'm going to be using two different sets of weights. I'm using a heavier set, 15 pounds, and a lighter set, 10 pounds. You can go heavier, you can go lighter, depending on your level of strength. I would like you to choose a weight that's challenging for you but still allows you to move with control and good form. I'm also going to be using a set of ankle weights for some of the mat work. If you don't have ankle weights or if you prefer not to use them, they can be done weightless and you'll still get in a great workout. I've also got a chair handy. You can use a dining room chair like I am, or a stool or an exercise bench if you have that. For one of the exercises, I like to do my split squats with an elevation, but if you don't have anything or you prefer to do the workout with one leg on the floor, I will talk you through what that looks like. So the way this workout is structured is that we have a warm-up to start with, then we're moving into a standing weighted portion of the workout, then we're going to do a weighted mat portion, a portion with ankle weights, and then we're going to repeat those sets once again. Like I said, we're going to be targeting the glutes from all angles. We're going to finish off with a cool down and it's going to feel great. Your glutes are going to be on fire. It's super effective. So let's go ahead and get right into it. Okay, so let's get into our warm-up. We're going to start down in an all fours position. And we want our wrists below our shoulders and our knees below our hips. From here, we're just going to arch the spine and then round the spine. Let's just work through a few cat-cows. We're going to ensure that our spine is really nice and mobilized before we start this lower body workout. So we've got a nice limber spine. Drop the belly, roll the shoulders down and back, stick the bum up, the tailbone's lifted, and then round, tucking the tailbone, scooping the belly in. Let's take a couple more of those. Inhale to arch. Exhale to round. Inhale, we arch, rolling your shoulders down, and exhale, we round. Now we're going to bring the spine into neutral and we're going to go into some hip circles. So we're going to lift the right leg up and circle it around, down, and back. Good. Focusing on opening up the hip as we draw a nice big circle in the air with that right knee. Good, let's do 3 more. Really enjoying that mobilization of the hip, working out any points of stiffness. Now let's switch direction. Nice, circling forwards, gently squeezing the bum as you do so, lifting the knee and opening up in the hip. Lubricating the joint for 3 and 2 and last 1. Nice work. Now we're going to switch sides. I'm going to circle my left knee back. Abs are engaged, shoulders are nice and level. As we lift that knee up and circle it down, around, and back. Drawing a circle in the air, creating space and mobility in the hip joint. Let's pause it there and start circling forwards. Take it slow, move slowly and with control. So we want to really ensure that we're not jarring the joint here. We're moving fluidly for 2 and for 1. Nice work. I'm going to come down onto my forearms now. Elbows below the shoulders. I'm going to stretch my right leg out long behind me, flex the foot, and we're just going to point and flex. Point and flex. This is a really good way to warm up all the muscles in the legs. Flex through the heel and point hard through the toe, activating the glutes as you do so. waking up the muscles in the leg. The calves are working, the thighs are switched on for 3 and 2 and 1. Flex the foot, heel to bum and extend. Heel to bum and extend. Focusing on contracting the hamstrings and squeezing the glutes as you do so, as we increase blood flow to this area of the body and awareness of those glutes and hamstrings. Good. We've got 4, 3, for 2, and for 1, lower the leg down. Now we're gonna switch legs. Make sure your shoulders are set back down away from your ears. Flex and point. Flex and point. Nice work. Pulling the toes back toward the shins and then pointing. Switching on those calves and thighs. Focusing on the glutes here, gently warming up. For 4, 3, keep the neck nice and long and the shoulders away from the ears. And 1, pull the heel back toward the bum and stretch and lengthen. Abs are engaged, contracting the hamstrings, gently squeezing the glutes as you pull the heel back toward the bum. Not giving it all you've got, we're still warming up, but just again, building that awareness, that mind-muscle connection as you gently start to activate the glutes and the lower body muscles. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lower the knee. We're gonna move into a bridge position. Lowering down 1 vertebra at a time. Relaxing head, neck, and shoulders down on the floor. Heels below the knees, legs are hip distance apart. We're gonna tilt the pelvis back, and then we're gonna peel up 1 vertebra at a time, and then lower. Tuck the tailbone, peel up, engage the back body and the core, and then lower down. You can lift your arms if that feels good, or you can keep them pressing down on the mat on either side of the body for extra stability. Good. Let's move into that Pilates breath. Breathe out to lift, inhale to lower. Lift, tuck the tailbone, flatten the back, and then lower. Good work. Let's do 5 and 4. Nice work. For 3, lift those hips. 2, and final 1. Lift and hold. We're gonna pulse up for 10, 9, 8. Activating the back body for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lower down. Nice work. We're gonna roll over onto our stomachs. Placing the hands down on the mat, curling the toes. From here, we're gonna elevate, lifting the hips up toward the ceiling, coming into downward dog. I want you to really flatten out your upper back here. Lift those hips as high as you can, bend the knees as much as necessary, and we're gonna pedal out the feet. Lowering, alternating heel down to the mat, letting your head hang heavy between your shoulders. Good. Mobilizing the knees here, bend them and straighten them. For 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. From here, we're gonna slowly walk our hands back toward our feet, hanging in a forward folded position. Head hangs heavy, arms hang heavy. Deep inhale here. And as we exhale, we're gonna slowly roll all the way up to standing, stacking 1 vertebra on top of the other. Head lifts last. Okay, so we're moving into the first round of the standing portion of the workout. I've got my chair handy, which I'm going to use for the split squats. If you don't have a chair, you don't need to use any sort of elevation for that move. I've also got my heavier weights, my 15 pounds, and my lighter weights, my 10 pounds. Again, you can go heavier, lighter, depending on your level of strength. Just make sure whatever weight you're using, you're moving with good form. And if you're losing your good form, be sure to lower down in your weights. So we're going to start off with some deadlifts. I'm going to take a hold of my heavier set, my 15 pounds per hand. I'm going to stand with my feet just a little bit wider than shoulder distance apart. The feet are parallel. Weight is even in the feet. Now from here, I'm going to apply just a little micro bend to the knees. You can bend a little bit more if needed, keeping the back nice and flat. I'm going to hinge from the hips and then transferring the weight into the heels. I'm going to pull up, keeping the weights in close toward the legs. So inhale to lower, flat back. Exhale, pull belly to spine, squeeze glutes as you lift up. Inhale, lower, hinging from the hips. Exhale, drive up through the heels. Inhale to lower, keep the weights close to the legs. Exhale, pull the belly in and squeeze the glutes the whole way up. So weight comes into the heels as you lower and particularly as you lift. Squeeze the bum. Really stick your bum out behind you, nice flat back as you lower down and pull up through the heels. Good. Now, as you come up, I want you to switch those glutes on so that you're activating the glutes the whole way up. Contract your core, your belly button to your spine to make sure that you're protecting your back as you lower and lift. Lower and drive up through the heels. We've got 3, 2, push up through those heels, and last one, drive it up. Nice work. I'm going to lower the weight down in front of me for a moment. We're just going to take a couple seconds rest. Swing out your arms, sway from side to side. Take a couple deep breaths in through the nose and out through the mouth. Now we're going to go into some single leg deadlifts. So I'd like you to take the weight in your hands. I'm going to step my right foot forward and step my left foot back. So we're keeping those legs parallel. The weight comes into the front heel. We're just keeping most of the weight in the front heel and just using that back foot as a bit of a balance or support. We're going to lower, hinging from the hips, and then drive up through that right heel. Lower, hinging, drive up through the right heel. So I want you to really focus on your right glutes here, doing the work. As you hinge, stick your bum out behind you and drive up through that heel. Make any little adjustments with your footing that you need to. Lowering belly to spine as you lift. Good, lower, nice flat back and drive up. Lower and push up through the heel. Good, really focusing on those right glutes, firing on the way down as well as on the way up. Lowering and lifting. We've got 3, 2, drive up through that heel, maintain your balance, and last 1, and relax down. Weight comes down onto the mat. Shake it out. Inhaling in through the nose and out through the mouth. And then we'll set ourselves up to do the left side. Left foot forward, right leg out behind for balance and stability. Weight comes into the front heel. We're going to pick up our weights. Make sure we're nice and stable in this position. Hinge from the hips and lift up. Hinge from the hips and lift up. Good. Driving up through that left heel, keeping the back nice and flat. Really sticking your bum out behind you. Good work. Lower and push up through the heel. Lower and lift. Nice work. Keep that balance and stability. Move a little bit more slowly as needed to maintain that control and that good form. Nicely done. Left glutes are working hard here. Let's go for 4, 3, abs in, for 2, drive up through that heel, and last 1, and lift up. Nicely done. I'm gonna get rid of that heavier weight. I'm gonna place it off to the side, shake out the legs a little bit. Whew. Really huffing and puffing already. Nice deep inhales, nice slow exhales. 2 more breaths. Good work, and last 1. And let's take a hold of our other set of weights. I'm gonna hold both of my 10-pound weights at my chest, and we're gonna go into some squats here. So taking the legs about shoulder distance apart, turning the feet out slightly, we're gonna lower, sending the hips out behind, and then drive up through the heels. Lower and drive up through the heels. So we're doing some wide leg squats here. Pushing up through the heels, keeping the chest nice and lifted. As we lower, squeeze the bum to lift. Lower and lift. I'll take a side view for this so you can see what it looks like. Be really careful not to let that low back arch. So it might be that you don't go down quite as low. If you're sort of buckling in the low back, take a more shallow squat and focus on that core activation and that glute activation to lift back up. Keep those shoulders down away from your ears. We've got 6, 5, get nice and low if you can. For 4, send that booty out behind you. 3, keeping the chin parallel with the floor. For 2, abs in. And final 1, nicely done. Lower your weight off, down onto the mat. We're gonna do a couple of these. I'm just gonna move them right out of the way. We're gonna do a couple of these split squats without any weight, just to get our form down. So, you have 2 options here. Either when you're bringing your right foot forward, your left foot is just behind you. You're lowering, driving up through the right heel as you straighten the legs. You're gonna be holding the weight down by your side, like so. Lower, activate the right glute as you lift. Keeping your knees in line, keeping your feet parallel, like so. If you're going up on the chair, you've got your back leg lifted, front foot is forward, you're lowering, bending at the knee and driving up through the heel. Lowering and lifting, lowering and lifting. Now, you can either do that weightless or with weights. You can try a couple without weights and see where you're at and add on the weights if you're feeling strong and stable. I'm gonna use my weights, I'm gonna hold them by my sides, and I'm using my chair as well. So I'm gonna step that right foot forward, take my time coming back with that left leg, making sure it's stable on the chair. From here, I'm gonna lower, bending at the knee, and drive up through the heel. Lower and lift. Now I really want that weight in the heel as I come up. I'm connecting mind muscle with those right glutes as I lower down and push up through the heel. Now it's okay if your knee shoots over your ankle a little bit. That's perfectly fine as long as your knee and your ankle and your hip are aligned. And so that you can feel this in those right glutes. So really focus. I really focus deeply on this exercise because it can be so effective if done correctly. So drive up through that heel. Make the work, make those glutes do the work to get that lift. Good, we've got 5. and 4. Drive up through the heel. Last 3, for 2, and last 1. Nice work. Lower the weight down if you're using it, and let's just take a couple seconds as a breather. Good work. Last exercise for this first round. We're doing the left leg forward, so pick up your weight if you're using them. Position yourself nice and stable with that left foot forward, right foot back, either on the chair or bench or down on the mat. Lower and drive up. Find that balance, find that stability. Make any little adjustments you need to. Lower, squeeze those glutes to lift. Lower and lift. Lower down, drive up through the heel. If you're getting wobbly, you might need to slow it down and focus on that form, belly to spine, gaze straight ahead, chin parallel with the floor, left glutes working hard. Let's go into 5 more. So we've got 5, 4, full lift, 3, 2, you can do it. Last 1, woo. Shaking there toward the end. Drop your weights off. Take a nice deep breath. In through the nose and out through the mouth. Amazing. Let's move into our next round. Okay, so let's get into our weighted mat work. So I'm going to take my smaller weight, my 10-pound weight, and I'm going to make my way down onto the mat. I'm going to place my head on my hand like so. If it's more comfortable on your neck, you can lay on your outstretched arm. I want to bend at the knees so that the knees are in line with the hips, and I want my shins to be parallel with the edge of the mat. Now from here, I'm going to take my weight and I'm going to place it on my thigh. Now, if at any point it gets too much with the weight, you can remove it and do this exercise weightless. From here, I'm going to lift just the lower part of the leg, relax the shoulders, and I'm going to open and close. So I'm going to lift that knee up, squeeze the side booty as I do so, and then close. Lift and close. Lift that knee up. Notice I'm moving really slowly. Now I'm keeping my knees aligned and my hips stacked as I lift and lower that top leg. This is really important. We don't want that top hip rolling back, so you're not looking for a huge widening of the knees. You're just lifting that knee up, keeping the legs parallel and squeezing the side booty as you do so, particularly at the top of the lift. I'd like you to keep your shoulders down away from your ears and breathe into it. Keep your belly plugged in, chest facing forward. Good. Lowering and lifting. Nice work. We've got 6, 5, squeeze the bum to lift for 4, and 3, and 2, and final 1. Nice work. We're gonna let that leg rest just for a moment. And I'm going to spread out nice and long, lengthening the legs. Keep that weight handy. From here, I'm gonna bend just the lower leg, stack the hips so that the top hip is on top of the lower hip. And again, we can either do this weightless, lifting and lowering the top leg, or we can add the weight. So I'm gonna hold the weight onto my thigh like so, nice and securely, and we're gonna lift and lower that top leg, squeezing the side booty as we do so. It might be more comfortable for you to have your weight on its side like this. That's kind of working for me right now. Whatever keeps it in place. Lifting and lowering. Pulling belly to spine as you lift that leg up and lower it with control. Nice work. We've got 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lower down. Nice work. Now from here, we're going to lift that top leg to about hip height. Flex the foot, lengthening through the heel, and we're just going to pulse. Pulse that leg up and down. 20 pulses here. I know it's tough. Stick with it. Plug belly in. We've got 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lower down. Nicely done. Now from here, I'm going to come over onto my other side, and we're going to do the same thing. So bringing the weight with me, I'm coming down onto the side body, relaxing head in hand or on outstretched arm. Bring the knees in line with the hips, shins in line with the edge of your mat. Place the weight on your thigh if you're using it, and lift the lower part of that leg. Keeping the hips stacked as we lift and lower, opening the knee and closing the knees, opening them and closing them. Good. Not letting that top hip roll back, but really connecting with those glutes as we lift and lower, squeezing the side booty. Good. Abs are engaged here. Good. Nice work. Keep lifting and squeezing. Making sure those knees line up, those hips stay parallel. Give me 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Amazing work. Lower that weight down, stretch the legs out, get them nice and long, and then bend just that lower leg. You can place the weight onto the thigh, stretch and elongate through the torso, and then start lifting and lowering that top leg, cinching in the waistline as you do so, moving with control, working the side booty as you lift up nice and high with that leg. Toes are pointed. Good. We've got 6, 5, lift a bit higher for 4, relax the neck, 3, and 2, and final 1, lower to hip height, flex the foot, adjust the weight as needed so it's not hurting your leg, and we're gonna pulse. 20 little pulses, lengthening through that heel. 2, 1, last 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Relax it down. Nicely done. Now I'm going to take my heavier weight, which is my 15-pound weight. Again, you can do this heavier, you can do it lighter, or with no weight at all, and we're going to go into some bridge work. Now my weight is coated. You might need to put a towel on your hip bones if that feels more comfortable, depending on what type of weight you have. It doesn't bother me just to have it resting on my hips like so. I'm going to position my heels so they're below my knees here. Now from this position, we're going to lift, tucking the tailbone and lower. Lift and lower. Drive up through the heels, tighten the core, tuck that tailbone as you lift. I want you to really squeeze your glutes, keep your legs parallel, lifting and lowering with control. Good. For 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lower down. You can either keep your feet flat on the mat, or you can replace your heels with the balls of your feet coming onto your toes. From here, we're going to hold in our bridge and just pulse. Little controlled pulses. Tailbone is tucked, abs are engaged, pulsing as we work the hamstrings, work the glutes. Good. Pulse it up. for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and hold, lift, 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 and hold for 3, 2, 1, lower down. You can lower your weight to the side of the mat, take your hands behind your thighs, and roll yourself up to a seated position, and just roll out those shoulders for 3, and 2, and 1. Nice work with that. Okay, so we're now going to move into the ankle weight portion of this workout. I'm going to put on my ankle weights, 1 per leg. If you really want to go crazy, you can do 2 ankle weights per leg to really step up the intensity. You can also use no ankle weights at all, and you will still feel the burn in those glutes. So with that in mind, let's go ahead and move into our all fours position. We're going to start off up on the hands, although you can be down on the forearms if that's more comfortable. If you have any wrist issues, we want our wrists or our elbows underneath our shoulders, and we want our knees below our hips. From this position, I want you to really plug the belly in toward the spine, extend the left leg out long behind you. From here, we're going to go into some leg lifts. So we're going to tap the toe down to the mat and then lift, keeping the hips square with the mat. Really focus on stabilizing through the torso as you lift and lower that leg. Inhale to lift, inhale to lower, exhale to lift. And as you exhale, you're contracting your belly in towards your spine. Nice work, breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. We've got 6, 5, 4, really connect with those left glutes, 2, and 1. Pause in the middle. Now I want you to cross that left leg over to the right side of your mat, come up and over and cross it to the left corner of the mat. So you're drawing a rainbow in the air. Now your challenge here is to try to prevent yourself from sort of swiveling back and forth in your torso. You want to keep your trunk really still and stable here. So you can do a little bit more of a slow movement if necessary to find that stability and control. Use your toe like a paintbrush in the air out behind you. Again, really focusing on those left glutes, particularly in the top middle part of your arc. You should really be squeezing your bum for that lift. Broaden your shoulders. You don't want to be collapsing in those shoulders. Nice work. Tapping from side to side. Give me 5, 4, belly to spine, for 3, and 2, and 1. Nice work. Now we're going to lower that knee down for a moment. We're going to bring the heel toward the bum, lift and extend, lower, lift and extend, tap the knee, lift and extend, tap and stretch the leg out. Now you really want your hips square with the mat here. Keep pushing the mat away up through those hands, breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. Give me 6, 5, 4, you can do it, for 3, and 2, and 1. Hold with your leg bent. Bend it a little bit more so you're making a right angle with that leg, and pulse the big toe up toward the ceiling. I'm going to come down onto my forearms here, giving those wrists a little bit of a rest. Keep the spine in neutral, neck nice and long, and pulse that big toe up toward the ceiling for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and hold. Lower down. Amazing work. Now from here, I'm going to lower my left forearm down to the floor, straightening my right arm, gentle bend in the elbow, and I'm going to switch legs. So I'm going to take my right leg over to the right side on a diagonal. I'm going to bring that knee in and stretch the leg out long. Bring it in and extend. Bend it in, extend it long. Good. Extensions out on a diagonal, focusing our attention on those right gluteus medius muscles now. As we bend the knee in and extend out to the side, We're squeezing that side booty. Keep your shoulders down away from your ears here. Core is engaged as we work into that waistline here as well. For 3, 2, and 1. Now lower the knee so it's in line with the other knee, and then lift into a fire hydrant. Good. Opening and closing. Squeezing that side bum at the top of every lift. Nice work. Keep lifting that knee. We've got 6, 5, 4. Squeeze the bum at the top of every lift. 2 and 1. Hold it there. We're going to pulse up. Little controlled pulses for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Relax it down. Take your knees nice and wide. Keep your hips elevated and push back into a puppy pose. Stretching and elongating through the spine for 3 and 2 and 1. Nice work. Let's come over and do the opposite side. So I'd like you to make your way to the opposite end of the mat, wrists below those shoulders, knees below the hips. Then we're going to drop the right forearm down to the floor and extend the left leg out on a diagonal. From here, we're bending and extending out on that diagonal. Good. Abs are plugged in. Neck is nice and long. Extend out long. Full extension before bringing that knee back in. Nice work. Squeezing the side booty, working those thighs, opening up in the hip and tightening that waistline. For 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lower down, going into the fire hydrants on that left side. Squeezing that bum at the top of every lift, lifting that knee up nice and high, keeping that neck long and relaxed. Let's go for 6, 5, 4, lift a bit higher, for 3 and 2 and 1. Hold at the top of the lift, pulse it up. Let's do 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lower down. Amazing work. Returning to your all fours position, either on your palms or down on your forearms. Extend the right leg out long behind you. Lengthen through the toes. Square the hips with the mat. Lifting and lowering. Leg lifts on that right side. Broad across those shoulders. Abs are plugged in. Nicely done for 5, 4, 3. Don't let your lower back compress here. And last 1. Hold. Now tap, cross over, draw your rainbow, and over to the opposite side. Drawing that arc in the air with the big toe, whilst keeping your torso still and stable. So that really means connecting with those abs and not lifting your legs so high that you're losing control or compressing your low back. Nice work. Let's go for 5 and 4. Last 3. Up and over for 2. You can do it. And last 1, cross over and back to center. Bend the knee, heel toward the bum. Make sure you're level across your shoulders and your hips as you tap and extend that leg out behind you. Tap, full extension. Really kick out. Lengthen through that big toe. Nice work. I know it's tough. Try not to collapse in those shoulders. You want nice, broad, stable shoulders. Nice level hips. For 5, 4, squeeze the bum, 3, 2, and 1. I'm gonna come down onto my forearms. I'm gonna bend that right knee into a right angle and pulse it up. Let's go. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, lift, lift, hold, and relax it down. Sink back into a child's pose. Breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. Nice work. You can come up and remove those ankle weights. Okay, so we're going into our second round of standing exercises. You'll need your chair or your bench handy, and you'll also need both sets of weights. So I've got my heavier set and my lighter set. I'm gonna start off with my heavier set. Those are my 15 pounds. Remember, you can go heavier, you can go lighter. I'm gonna stand with my feet just a little bit wider than shoulder distance apart. Feet are parallel, shoulders are down. We're gonna go into our deadlifts here. So plug navel in toward the spine, hinge from the hips. Send the bum out behind, little micro bend in the knees or more as needed. And we're going to pull up, driving through the heels, squeezing those glutes. Lower, abs in, squeeze the glutes out, lift that weight. Lower, nice flat back. Good. Lower down, transfer weight into the heels and drive up through the heels, squeezing your bum the whole way up. So making those glutes work. Lower down and pull up. Lower and really switch on those gluteus medius muscles. Gluteus maximus muscles rather, to get that lift. Lower down and abs into lift. Good work. Lower, nice flat back. Drive up through those heels. Let's do 5 more. For 5, breathing deeply. 4, squeeze those glutes. For 3, nicely done. 2, and last 1. Really power up through those glutes the whole way up. Nice work. Now I'm gonna drop those weights off in front. We're gonna swing out the arms, take a couple of deep breaths, sway from side to side. Nicely done. Okay, let's move into those single leg deadlifts. So I'm going to lift up my weights. I'm gonna step my right foot forward, step my left foot back. The legs are parallel, about hip distance apart. Most of the weight is in that front heel. I'm gonna hinge from the hips, sending that booty back and then drive up through the heel. Lower, nice flat back, push up through the heel. Focus on those right glutes doing the work to elevate you back up. That back foot shouldn't have weight in it. It's just there for balance. Good. Lower, flatten the back, squeeze the bum. Lower, engage the core at the same time to help protect your spine. Lower, abs into lift. Let's go for 5 more. For 5, squeeze that bum. And 4, lift with control. Last 3, whoo. And 2, glutes are working hard. And last 1, and drop that weight off. Good, shake out your legs a little bit. Regulate that breath. Breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. Give those shoulders a roll back. Take hold of your weights and step your left foot forward, right foot back. Feet are parallel. Weight comes into that front heel. Hinging and lifting. Make any little adjustments with your footing as needed. Lower, squeeze those left bum cheeks to lift. Lower, abs into lift. Good, switching your mind and your focus and your intention onto those left glutes. Doing the work now. Nicely done, lowering and driving up through the heel. Flatten that back, engage that core, maintain the balance. Lower down, drive up, lower and lift, lower, abs in, squeeze the glutes. We've got 5, 4, left bum cheek is really fired up now for 3, you got this, 2, and final 1. Whew. I'm gonna lose the heavier weight now because I'm not gonna use it. I'm gonna shake those legs out, take a couple of much needed deep breaths in through the nose and out through the mouth. And we're gonna move into our squats. Starting off with regular squats, taking hold of my 10-pound weight, so I've got a total of 20 at my chest. Gonna take the feet wide, slightly turn the toes out, going into my wide leg stance, squat, keeping the chest elevated, just sticking the bum out behind as we maintain that flat back. Engage the core, drive up through the heels. Nice, shoulders are down away from the ears. Lowering and squeezing those glutes to lift. Taking a side view. Really stick your bum out behind you. Again, if you're losing control or if your knees are knocking in or out, don't go down as low. You want really nice, stable legs, good alignment as you lift and lower. And this should not hurt your back. So again, if it is, more shallow squat and focus on that glute activation before you attempt to drop down super low. You might also need to lower your weight if needed to maintain that form. Let's do 4 more. 4, 3, you can do it. Last 2, and final 1, and lower the weight down. So just before we hit the chair and grab the weights, let's just remind ourselves of what we're doing next with those split squats. Either your foot is down on the floor or it's on the chair. As you put weight into the heel of that right foot, lifting and lowering, focusing on that right bum cheek as you do so. Ooh, I've got to regulate my breath for a moment before I pick up that weight. I'm working hard, and I'm sure you are too. Okay, I'm going to take a hold of my weights. I'm stepping that right foot forward, finding that balance, finding that stability. Toes are pointing forward. Back leg finds the chair. Make any little adjustments you need to. Lower and lift. Lower and lift. My chair's being a bit creaky out behind me. That's okay. Lowering and lifting. Now, last time I had my foot back a little ways, a little bit further back. You can play around with your foot position. So you want to really make sure that you can feel it in those glutes as you drive up through the heel. So you might need to adjust and bring your foot further forward or a little bit further backward. I can feel it in my glutes both ways. Also, you can experiment with being straight up and down or hinging and leaning a little bit further forward. Find that sweet spot where you can really feel those glutes firing. It's different for different people. We've got 3, 2, and 1. Whew, those were tough. Okay, that's probably one of my most dreaded exercises because it is tough, but it's one of my favorites in terms of its effectiveness. I really get those glutes, those sore glutes the following day from this one. Gluteus maximus muscles are really well targeted. Okay, left foot forward. Find that breath. In through the nose and out through the mouth. Set yourself up. Right leg comes back. Find that balance, find that stability. Lowering and lifting. Lowering and lifting. Weight into that left heel. Driving up through that left heel. Focusing on those left glutes, doing the work. Finding that sweet spot, connecting with those glutes. Start squeezing the left bum cheek as you come up, and squeeze it the whole way up and the whole way down. We're here for a short time, so make it count. Let's do 5 more for 5, 4, shaking now, 3, you can do it, 2, and last 1, and lift it up. Lower those weights off to the side, shake out those legs, relax those arms. Breathing deeply in through the nose and out through the mouth. Amazing work. Okay, so we're gonna go into another round of weighted mat exercises. I've got my 10-pound weight and my 15-pound weight. I'm using one of each. You can go heavier, you can go lighter, or no weight at all. I'm gonna start off with my 10-pound weight, and I'm coming down onto my side body, stretching out, making myself comfortable. Knees in line with the hips, shins in line with the edge of the mat. From here, I'm placing my weight onto my thigh. I'm lifting the lower part of my leg, and we're now opening and closing the knees. Opening and closing, squeezing your glutes at the top of the lift. Opening up and lowering with control. Good. Keeping those hips aligned. Good. Keep with it. Give me 6, 5, squeeze the bum. For 4, abs in. 3, 2, lift that knee a bit higher. Last 1, nice work. Lower the weight, stretch your legs out long, get nice and long, plug belly in, bend the lower leg. Place the weight onto the thigh, either lengthwise or across like so, and we're gonna lift and lower that top leg. Lifting and lowering, squeezing the bum, finding length in the leg, working the thigh muscles, working the glutes as we lift up, squeezing the glutes, really connecting at the top of every lift. Plugging belly in and keeping the neck nice and long and relaxed. Good work. We've got 5, 4, lift a bit higher. For 3, you can do it. 2, abs in. Last 1, lower to hip height, flex the foot. Pulse. Little control pulses here. We're doing a total of 20. 2, 1, last 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Whew, those burn. Nice work. We're gonna come over and do the other side. Taking my 10-pound weight with me, lowering down, getting nice and comfortable on the hand or the outstretched arm. Knees line up. Shins line up with the edge of the mat, lifting the lower part of the leg, popping the weight onto the thigh, ready to go. Lowering and lifting. Abs in as we lift, always focusing on that core, even though we're working the lower body. Good. Targeting that gluteus medius right now as we lift that knee up. And squeeze the booty. Nice work. lift and squeeze. Nicely done. Let's go for 5, 4, abs in, 3, keep those hips stacked, 2, and 1. Whew. Okay, lower the weight down, stretch the legs out long, plug your belly in, bend the lower leg for stability, put that weight onto the thigh if you're using it, and let's go with our leg lifts. We're really targeting our glutes from all angles in this workout, so make every exercise count by really focusing on which part of your bum you're working. So we're working the gluteus medius now, so really focus on connecting with that area of the body. 5, 4, abs in for 3, 2, lift a bit higher, last 1, and lower to hip height, flex the foot, pulses. Lengthening out through that heel, abs engaged to keep the torso as stable as possible. Last 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ooh, I'm glad those are over. Those really burn. Okay, place your lighter weight off to the side if you want to go heavier. I'm going to take my 15 pounds and place it on my hips for the bridge work. So lowering down with control. Heels below the knees, legs parallel, hip distance apart. Inhale here, tuck the tailbone, exhale to lift, maintaining the tuck in the tailbone. Lower and lift. Inhale and exhale. Lower the bum, just hover and drive up through the heels. Keep the legs parallel, don't let the knees knock in or splay out to the sides. And engage the core as you tuck the tailbone and lift. Nice work. Let's have 5, 4, squeeze and lift, 3, 2, and 1, lower down. I'm going to come up onto the balls of my feet. You can keep your feet flat if you need to. We're going to come up and hold and then pulse. Little controlled pulses here. Squeezing those glutes, engaging that core. Pull belly to spine as you lift. It'll help protect your lower back as you work those glutes and thighs. For 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Hold and relax it down. Place your weight off to the side of the mat. Take your hands behind your thighs and roll yourself up. Just circle the arms back. Melting away tension in the shoulders. And last one, amazing work. Okay, so let's get into round 2 of our ankle weight work. So I'm going to put my ankle weights on, one on each foot. Remember, if you're not using them, you definitely can still work those glutes without any weight at all. So we are going to move on into an all fours position. Once the weights are secured, I'm going to come to the top of my mat and we're going to focus on our left glutes first. So wrists are below the shoulders or you're down on your forearms. Knees are below the hips. Any arching in the lower back, I want you to control that by tucking your tailbone. I'm going to extend my left leg out long behind me, square the hips, and then begin with some leg lifts. So we're lowering and lifting that left leg, keeping both hip bones facing down toward the mat. Squeeze those left glutes as you lift and lower. Take the time right now to connect with those glutes. Your mind, your intention is focused on this area of the body. Making it count. Good. We've got 5, 4, 3, nice lift, 2, and 1. Now we're crossing over and then over to the opposite side of the mat. So tapping alternate corners as we create a rainbow shape in the air with that left big toe. Good, crossing up and over, squeezing the bum to get that lift, especially at the top of that arch. Squeeze that bum to get that lift. Nice work. Keep yourself nice and broad across your shoulders. Let's go for 5 and 4. Nice work. For 3, squeeze that bum. For 2, whew, it already burns. And 1. Good work. Now from here, bend the knee in, bringing the heel closer toward the bum. Make sure you're nice and stable across those hips and shoulders. And extend. Tap and extend. Squeeze the bum. Contract the thighs as you kick that leg out behind you on the extension. Notice I'm not rushing this movement. I'm focusing on a full extension before bending that knee back in. Try not to lean over to your supporting side. Keep your shoulders level, those hips level. Breathe through it. Nice work. We've got 4, 3, 2, and 1. You can either stay up on your hands or you can come down onto your forearms, bending that knee, creating a right angle, and poking little holes in the ceiling with that big toe. Neck is long, spine is in neutral. Let's go for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and hold. Squeeze the bum and lower it down. Nice work. Drop your left forearm down to the mat, and we're going to extend the right leg out long on a diagonal. Lift that leg, pull belly in, bring the knee to the elbow and stretch. Knee toward the elbow and stretch. Extend, lengthening through those right toes, switching on those right glutes, working the side booty and the thighs as you do so, cinching in that waistline to work the obliques as well with this one. Good work. Breathe as you kick out. Again, I keep saying this, but full extension, it's really important. Don't just kind of halfway flick that leg out. You want to extend, squeeze, and then bend back in. Give me 3 and 2 and final 1 and lower down. Knees come together, knees in line with each other, and then we're lifting and lowering to the side. Fire hydrant. Keep those shoulders down away from the ears. Squeezing that side bum to get that lift. Contract the core. Let's go 6, 5, 4, 3. These are tough in the second round. 2 and 1. Lift and hold for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and hold. Lift an inch higher. Hold, hold, hold. And relax it down. Push back onto your heels, stretching and lengthening through the spine. Deep breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. Nicely done. Let's get the other side finished up. So we're coming onto the other end of the mat, dropping the right forearm down to the floor, extending the left leg out on a diagonal, lengthening through that neck. Bend it in and extend it long. Bend and extend. Breathe out on the extension. Contracting the waist, lengthening the neck, extending the leg as you squeeze the thighs and that side booty. Good. Let's go 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lower down. Knees line up, and then we're opening to that left side. Squeeze the bum at the top of every lift. Nice work. Try not to lean too much to that right side. Good. Keep some weight in the heel of the left hand. Good. Let's go 4, 3, squeeze to lift, 2, and 1. Hold. Pulse. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and hold. Lift, 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 and lower down. Yee. Okay. Up onto those palms or down onto those forearms, extending the right leg out long behind you, squaring the hips, lifting and lowering that right leg. Feels good to switch sides. Plug navel in, support the low back, and breathe out to lift. Gently push the mat away. I want to see nice broad shoulders and a long neck in line with the spine. Gaze is on the mat. For 5, 4, squeeze to lift. 3, connecting with those right glutes. 2, and 1. Cross it over, and then cross it over to the other side. Rainbow taps. Keeping that torso centered. Isolating this work in those glutes. Thighs are working here too. Good. Up and over, squeezing your bum at the highest part of that arc. Let's go 5 and 4. You can do it. Stick with it for 3 and 2. Final 1. Bend that knee in. Need to take a moment. Deep breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. Bend that knee and extend. Tap, extend, tap, extend. Squeeze the glutes as you push that leg out behind you, driving out through the big toe, extending the legs, squeezing the thighs and the glutes as you do so. Just a little reminder here to keep pushing the mat away so you're not collapsing in those shoulders. Don't let the head drop either. You don't want to hurt your neck as you work your glutes. It's 5, 4, 3, last 2, and final 1. Stay up on your hands or drop onto your forearms for this final push here with these ankle weights. Lifting that knee and pulsing the big toe toward the ceiling. I want you to really lift your abdominal wall here so you're protecting your spine. For 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and hold. Lift an inch higher. Squeeze, 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 and lower down. Take your knees nice and wide and sink it back. Regulating the breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. Lift up and remove those ankle weights if you're wearing them. Amazing work for making it through that series of exercises. Those were tough. Okay, from here we're going to move into our cool down and stretch. It's very well deserved and it's going to feel great. So let's come into an all fours position. We're going to take the knees nice and wide, big toes come together. We're going to sink back into child's pose, stretching and lengthening through the tailbone. I want you to really take your time here to separate each of the vertebrae. So really stretch and lengthen through the spine, breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. Inhale. And as you exhale, you're going to come up, level out the knees so they're back into a parallel position. curl the toes, lift the hips up toward the ceiling, stretching and lengthening. Find as much lift in those hips as possible. Bend the knees as much as you need to. We're going to lift up onto those toes and then invite the heels down to the mat. Lift up onto the toes and lower the heels down to the mat. So we're stretching the calves as we do so. Lengthening the spine. Let your head hang heavy between your shoulders. Breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth as we stretch the backs of the legs. For 3, and 2, and last 1. Lower those heels. Fold your right leg under your body. Stretch the left leg out long behind you. Sit up nice and tall. Stretch and elongate through the spine and then fold over the lower body. Resting your head on your forearms. Breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. Feeling that stretch deep into the hip. Drawing nice deep inhales and exhales for 3, and 2, and 1. Take your hands on either side of your knee. Step your right leg back into plank and fold your left leg under the body, stretching the right leg out long behind you. Take a moment, sit up, stretch and elongate through the spine, and then fold over the lower body, sinking deep into that stretch. And breathing into any tightness in the hip. Breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. Holding it here. For 5, for 4, for 3, 2, and 1. Use your hands to help you to come back up. Bring your left knee back. Both knees are down on the mat. Bring your right foot forward between your hands. Stretch your left leg out long behind. Coming up, we're going to move into a hip flexor stretch. So hands are interlaced on the right thigh. Left hip is pushing forward gently. Breathing in through the nose as you sink into this a little bit more deeply and out through the mouth. Gently pushing that left hip forward. Feeling the stretch in the hip flexor. Sitting up nice and tall here for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Hands come down. Bring your left foot forward. Stretch your right leg out long behind and gently push that right hip forward, getting deep into the hip flexor. Lengthening through the spine, shoulders are down away from the ears. Sink a little bit more deeply into it for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Take your hands down. Lower your body down to the mat. Bring your knees in towards your chest. And then take hold of the bottoms of your feet, the outside bottom of your feet, and pull your knees down toward the mat, in toward your armpits as you stretch it out in happy baby. Trying to connect your lower back with the mat. Last breath here. Lower your left leg, cross your right leg over your left, interlace your hands behind your left thigh. Hug that left knee in towards you, stretching out the right glutes. Hugging that knee in a little bit closer to deepen the stretch for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Uncross your legs, switch sides, left over right. Interlace your fingers behind the right thigh and hug that right knee in. Feeling the stretch deep into those left glutes. Feeling it into the hips. Breathing deeply. Hugging it in a bit closer for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Taking hands behind the thighs. Gently rolling up Turning to face me, legs are crossed. We're gonna lift the shoulders up and roll them down and back. Now we're gonna circle the arms back. For 3, and 2, lift and lengthen. And last 1, melting the shoulders down and back. Amazing work. You made it through that entire routine. You worked your glutes from every angle. You should feel proud. You got in a great workout. Thanks so much for joining me, and I look forward to moving again with you next time. Bye.